Hi, President Bush. Thank you so much for taking time for us this morning. You and your family have such a special and precious connection here in Houston, and it's an honor to speak with you today. Obviously, we want to talk about your book, Out of Many, One. Of all of the subjects that you could have painted and talked about, you picked people, immigrants. Why, President Bush?
You know, Roseanne, because I was concerned that the immigration debate had become so politicized that the beauty of immigration for our country's future has been overclouded by harsh rhetoric. And I wanted to tell the stories of courage, compassion, hard work, entrepreneurship, patriotism. And so I picked 43 people from different backgrounds and different, some famous, not famous, and painted them. And put it out in a book, and I want to thank you very much for giving me the chance to talk about it.
You say famous, not famous. We know 4 of them are Houstonians. One of them very dear to your family, knocked on your door when you were 13. Could you tell us about Paola Rendon and why you decided to feature her in your book?
Yeah, Paola, she's like a second mother. Many people in Houston knew my mother, and mother was plenty tough, and Paola was just as tough. But the interesting thing about Paola was she worked not only to help mom and dad and our family, but she worked hard to support her own family, and was able to raise a big family. And I learned that the immigrant experience can be very trying, and yet she overcame a lot of obstacles, and she's a beautiful person. It was sad to lose her, but she lived a long life and accomplished a great deal.
In the book, I've read it, you go into detail and you don't hold back on the experiences of these immigrants. One of them is Jean-Celestine Laquin. Can you talk to me about why, Mr. President, you talked about her?
Yeah. Well, the main reason, I saw her recently at the Bush Center at SMU, and I was a little nervous because I wanted her to like her portrait. She is a beautiful woman, and I hope the portrait captured her beauty, both not only how she looks, but her spirit, because she went through unspeakable horror of watching her dad get hacked by Hutus. Her mom died. She and her sister in the jungle. She's been sexually abused. And yet her heart is full of forgiveness. It's one of the most beautiful stories of the power of a higher power. And to hear her talk is magical, and to see her smile is beautiful. And I was honored to paint her, and I'm honored to consider her a friend.
Resilience, perseverance, all threads, common threads in these stories. Mr. President, what do you hope people take away from these stories? And especially with everything going on with the conversation of immigration, what do you hope this book accomplishes in the hearts of the people who read them?
Well, first of all, I hope it starts with, Roseanne, the notion that we're all God's children and we're all precious in God's sight. And if you start with that kind of love in your heart, then it means that it's much more likely to have a debate that is not harsh, but a debate that is constructive, that will lead to solutions. No question the border needs to be fixed. As we fix it, it's important to remember the contributions that immigrants make. Look, everybody wants the border enforced, no question about that. You just can't have a nation with no border. But there's a way to do it that understands the human condition. And one of the things that's really important during this current time is to recognize that the system needs to be fixed. And I'm just trying to say, if we're thoughtful about it, we can fix it. And it's really important for Congress to do it. And one way to do it is to try to get the politics out of it. I mean, people feel like they can score political points by railing against the other fella on immigration. I'm just trying to say, wait a minute, let's be sane about how we approach the issue.
Thank you so much for your time, President Bush. I really appreciate it. Have you ever heard of Blue Willow Bookshop? They're in Houston. They got
look, I'm going to shamelessly promote the book, but they've got a workshop tonight on 7 o'clock, Blue Willow, and I'm talking about the book there too if people want to, might tune in. And by the way, the proceeds from this book go to help the organizations that help immigrants. So like, for example, Catholic Charities is big time on the border, and so some of the proceeds will go to them to help them, help those seeking asylum or those refugees.
Thank you so much for your time, President. It's an honor to speak with you, and we will make sure to share all of that information about your book on our website, clicktohouston.com. Thank you.
Roseanne, thank you. Very good.